host, Jerry, a.k.a. Rock Too Easy, and my guy, KG, a.k.a. Coach G. And this is Real Talk Football, and we are live, baby, live. This has been a long time coming. How you feeling, bro?
I'm good, bro. I can't believe we about to get this off the ground and get it up and running. I can't wait till people see this, and I hope we get a good audience and good response. You know what I mean? I'm hyped. I'm excited, and we gotta bring that energy, baby.
Exactly. It's been a long time coming. We've been talking about this. We were driving in the car, bro. We need to put together a pod.
For sure,
Bro.
Yes, sir.
Wheel, and then life happens. You know what I'm
Yes,
saying?
sir.
But then we came right back to it. And we pushed through it, and we made it happen. You know what I mean? And so now that we are here, we first want to shout out to everybody who's been supporting us from the jump. Make sure you please follow our pages. We got Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, Twitter. We're all fresh and new on there. So we're trying to have our outlet on every page that we can. So the content is everywhere that we need it to be. I want to give a shout out to Real Talk Baseball for merging with us. You know what I mean? We're trying to build like a Real Talk conglomerate of sports. You know what I mean? And they've been going along for 4 years now, and they've been holding it down. And they brought us on. They've been helping us out a lot and teaching us things. And so this is gonna help us smoothly get through and transition. We're gonna start out with pre-recordings just so we can. The NFL season hasn't started yet, so we're just trying to get our feet off the ground and everything like that. Once the live draft is coming up, so we'll be live from there. You know what I mean? We'll be interacting with a lot of people who are engaged with us. We'll be having interviews, and basically, we'll be not just covering pro sports. We'll be covering college. We'll be covering high school. We'll be covering all levels, so that way you know that we're not just here just to talk about the pro level. We want to see and watch these kids from kids to young adults to full adults to these pros. And you know what I mean? We love and support everything. We want to keep it honest, keep it up front, and keep it real. And that's how we're going to do things. And
Yes,
also, I
sir.
want to give a shout out to my guy, Rock, for giving us the beat for our introduction. That thing going pop, 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 bang. You know what I'm saying? So we're looking to get things, you know what I mean, on the run. So that's how we're going to do it. And we're gonna flow with it. We're going to keep it real. We're going to bring that energy, like I said, that we're going to do. You ready for this?
Yes, sir. Let's get
Yes,
it.
sir. Yes, sir.
What
So
you
the
got for
first,
me?
first thing I want to talk about is this Hassan Reddick trade. You know, the Eagles traded our son and Hassan Reddick to the Jets for a conditional 2026 third round pick that could be a second, sources tell ESPN. The 2026 pick becomes a second pick if Reddick plays at least 67.5% play time and has over 10 sacks. But that pick isn't until 2026. How you feel about that, bro?
I think that the Eagles lost this trade. I mean, we all seen over the last couple of years how we manipulate the cap, get some good draft picks, get some good free agents. And I think this one was just waited a little bit too long for the Eagles because the Jets are having Hassan Reddick play for free. He can walk next year. And the Eagles the Eagles did sign free agent Huff from the Jets, but it looked like this was a trade almost for Hassan Reddick to the Jets and then Huff to the Eagles. It looked like that was an even swap almost, but the scale's a little bit tilted to the Jets. And I think the Eagles lost this trade, especially only getting those picks even as a third or a second to the 2026 draft and nothing for this year. I think they lost the trade.
Yeah, so I look at it like this. The Eagles, I feel like Howie's going into this thing where he's trying to go younger. I respect it. But then you're getting rid of a guy who hasn't missed games.
Right.
He's healthy. He showed up. He's been consistent. You know what I
10
mean?
sacks, 10 plus sacks in the last 4 seasons.
Correct. He's 29 going on 30, but he's still got a motor in his engine. You know what I mean?
Right.
He's sitting there. He's holding his own. If it's anything that I feel like has dropped off and people really don't pay attention to it, is his tackles.
Yeah.
His sacks is there, but his tackles is down. So in 2020 and 2021, he's at over 60 tackles. 2022, he had 49 tackles. 2023, he had 38 tackles. You know what I mean? And I think that was teams adjusting and realizing between him and Sweat, boom, we're going to attack you on the edge. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? You can get to our quarterback, but we're going to come full edge right at you. Now, are you going to make this play? And so, with that being said, that's near here or there because I'm not saying that we don't judge that, but we do judge that because now they're saying like towards the end of the year, him and Sweat had dropped off. But you see, Sweat they decided to keep maybe because he was younger, but he
Yeah.
wasn't producing like Hassan. You know what
Yeah,
I
I
mean?
think
And
though
so
in a passing league though, when you have a guy like Hassan Reddick and Sweat coming off the edge, who are you going to block? They had a nice rotation last year, the Eagles did on that D line, even with the D tackles. But when you have Hassan Reddick playing each game, you ain't got to worry about him, but you do got to worry about him coming off the edge. And pass rushers are at a premium now where guys got to get to the quarterback and they're paying a lot of coin for those guys to get to the quarterback. And I think they could have worked something out. But at the end of the day, I think both sides would be happy. Even with we got some interactions here with some of our fans already, some of our followers on Instagram. We had mixed emotions. Some said this was almost compared to the Sixers keeping Tobias Harris over Jimmy
yeah, I
Butler.
saw that.
Another person said Nolan's had Nolan era like loading, you know what I mean? So they really ready for Nolan Smith and a couple guys, just a little bit of mixed emotion. People don't know why they would do this and just mixed emotions, but hey, you got to live or die what you got to do right now. And I think both sides will be happy at the end of the day. Sweat's just going to have to step up, I think, for the Eagles right now, and Huff as well.
Right. Yeah. So what I look at it like this. Once again, like I said, they were looking at it at age. I'm not comparing of teams, but you look at it like a Von Miller at 33 years old. He signed a 6-year, $120 million deal.
Sure did.
You know what I mean? That was to a new team.
New team.
Eagles are getting a guy who who it is. You know how he is in the locker room. You know what it is production wise. So maybe it might have been age. Maybe it might have been system.
Right.
Maybe Vic coming in there, probably thinking to himself like, I can do more with someone else, a younger guy. You know what I mean? Who knows what it is? Because I feel like I'm not saying he should have been overpaid, but I think they should have worked something out because there's no way that you keep a guy with that type of production. You let a guy with that type of production go. You know what I mean? You got guys like Montez Sweat. He's, don't get me wrong, he's 2 years old, younger than Hassan, but he still doesn't produce the way that Hassan does. He's never had a double-digit sack, and he just signed this year for
with the Bears.
4 years, $98 million, $20 million a year.
Right.
For what? He's never even had a double-digit sacks.
Do
you know
you
what I mean?
think? Last question before we get to that next topic, but do you think the Eagles were getting pressured to say, all right, here's a guy, never missed a game for last 4 seasons, 10 plus sacks. We might have to pay him up towards being 30 years old, up towards that 25 million, between that 20 and 25 million. Do you think they shied away from that? And that's why Howie did what he did?
Yeah, they did. But once again, they had the money. It ain't like they were pressed for money. Right. They had the money. If you're trying to compete every year, like they said they are, and want to be aggressive, you pay that money for that guy. Because once again, like I said, he's always dependable. He's there. He don't miss games. People don't understand.
The best ability is availability, right?
Exactly. Exactly. So we'll see how it turns out for them. You know what I mean?
Right. All right. Right now, we're going fast forward to what has been an issue with the NFL for the last couple of years of signing running backs and getting some money. We had a lot of free agent signings with the running backs in the running back position. Some guys got some money. You got some couple big names in some new places. You got Saquon with the Eagles. You got Josh Jacobs with Green Bay. Derrick Henry signs with the Ravens. Tony Pollard, Tennessee. Swift with the Bears. Austin Eckler, another big name that people just especially a fantasy name for a lot of people out there, signs a 2-year deal with the Commanders. And then you have Singletary and Jones, who signs with the Vikings. Let's get to Saquon, though. Do you think So he signed a 3-year, $37.8 million deal with the Eagles, 12.5 a year, and 26 million guaranteed. Big bag, big bag. Do you think this was a good signing for Saquon? Before we get to how he's gonna, I think, have an impact on the Eagles, do you think this was a good move for him, or is this a year too late?
Um, Honestly, it's great for him because he got the bag. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? The Giants disrespected him. They franchise tagged him. They didn't want to give him anything more. What was the franchise tag? 10 million last year.
Yep.
So think about how many running backs last year got that 10 million. It was
Mm-hmm.
him, Pollard,
Mm-hmm.
Jacobs.
Mm-hmm.
Who else? It was another guy who it was another running back or two who also had got that franchise tag because everybody was living in this era last year of,
Mm-hmm.
oh, there's no need to pay a running back. You could just get another one in the draft.
Right. Right.
So, boom, that cap hit jumps.
Mm-hmm.
Then next thing you know, oh, you know what? I got over $X. You know what I'm saying? Like, let me toss that here. Let me toss
Right.
that there. Let me
Right.
put this over the edge. It, like I said, it's great for Saquon. You know what I mean? You're going to an organization where they're known to have a great offensive line. Even though they lost Kelsey, they're going to move uh what's his name? I can't remember his name offhand. They're going to move him over.
Dickerson.
But yes, all in all, that's a still solid O line. You got Lane
Mm-hmm.
Johnson there. You know what I mean? You got Mile out of there. You still have a great and solid O line. Then you have your receivers that you got. So it's a threat of an offense for sure. So it definitely
Right.
helps him. It just comes down to Kellen Moore, who we're known how he can get down if he's gonna
Yeah.
run the ball. I mean, it all depends on how they use him. Honestly, that's
Right.
how I feel.
My concern for Saquon will still be his health. I think on the Eagles offense, you are definitely not going to be able to stack the box with 8 or 9 with AJ Brown and Devontae and Dallas Goedert out there at wide receivers and tight ends, and so you're going to have to respect everybody. You can't double team anybody. But as far as Saquon Barkley, I think it was a great deal for him. He's going to cause fits for 2 games a year to every NFC East team. I would love to see him stay healthy. I love Saquon. I think he's a great player. He was a great player coming out of Penn State. Um, Another thing is with Saquon, I think he's going to have something to prove this year after, like you said, being disrespected by an organization who he wanted to stay with.
Yep.
You franchise tag him. You give money to the quarterback who, yes, got injured this year, but what did he do the years prior to earn him all that guaranteed money and that big extension of a contract? And now you got people questioning, are the Giants going to go for a quarterback this year in the draft?
Right,
You know,
right.
I think they met. I think a lot of us think the Giants messed up and gave the money to the wrong guy. They could have, if they wanted both of them, they could have gave them both of them. But I don't think so.
100%.
I want to ask you a question while we talk about these free agent running backs. Do you think Austin Eckler got disrespected? A guy who has been 1,000-yard rusher, a guy who has caught the ball 100 times in the season. He got a 2-year, $8.4 million contract with only 4.2 guaranteed. While then you got a 2 years younger guy in Devin Singletary, who got a 3-year, $16.5 million contract with 9.5 guaranteed. Why do you think Eckler got lowballed there?
Health, and that's really what it comes down to.
You said health?
He's either missed games or is banged up. When healthy, he is your type Christian McCaffrey type guy. He can
I
catch the
agree.
ball, he can run the ball in between tackles, he can hit it on the edge. He can do everything that you need him to do. It's just a
Agreed.
matter of, you know what I mean? He's dinged up. You know what I mean? So now it's like, this is your prove it for you.
Mm-hmm.
Stay healthy, and then you can get paid again. But
Right.
we'll see how that goes. You know what I mean? I'm not sure offhand how old he is, because you said he was Singletary was
Yeah,
younger than
he's
him.
Eckler is 28, Singletary is 26 years old.
Yeah. And that's old in running back years. And that's what, like I said, I'm happy for Saquon because he's 27. Happy
Right.
for him, but running backs that age, they normally don't get the bag like that. And so, like I said, Eckler, when healthy, he is a threat for sure. So
I want
we'll see
to
how that works out for him.
one last thing before we go back to what you said about GMs and owners thinking they can go get a running back in the draft, and how running backs have received as not important to an offense.
Right.
Running backs are very, I'm not being biased because being a running back in the day, but as a running back, we are taught, first of all, if you cannot block, you are not going to get the ball. And in a passing league now, all of these running backs got to pass protect. If you can't pass protect, obviously, guess what? We know that guy's coming off the field. We know this guy's coming on the pass protect, and it's obvious pass. Now, whether it's 3rd and 1, 3rd and 2, third and medium, or even 4th and medium, we know you about to pass because here come your blocking back in. So I think that's the thing teams got to get over and pay these running backs because they are just important as some of these quarterbacks, some of the offensive linemen, and obviously some of the receivers too, because a lot of running backs now, a lot of teams are going running back by committee. That running back has to catch out of the backfield as well.
Right. Yeah, but that's just the habit of what they do though. They'll run them to the ground, and then they treat them like tires, man.
For sure.
Tires. We're gonna run you to the ground. I'm gonna hop right over the Firestone. You know what I mean? Let me move. That you running that promo? Oh yeah. Say no more. I'm over there. Say no more.
For sure.
For sure. But now we're gonna move on to the next topic, and we're gonna talk about first cousins, second cousins, third cousins. He's your cousin's cousins. This guy, Kirk Cousins, man, I'm trying to say that boy get the bag.
Does he ever?
He get the bag. I can't knock his hustle, man. I cannot knock his hustle. You know what I mean? I'm excited to see how he's going to be with the Falcons. You know what I mean? They got some young weapons. You know what I mean? They got guys. They got Bijan Robinson. Once again, he's a guy from Texas all the way up right then and onto the Falcons. Run between the tackles, runs on the edge, catch the ball, give him a screen, and he's breaking. You know what I mean? He's elusive. He's a big player. So we'll see how that pans out for him. But as far as Kirk Cousins and his career, you know what I mean? How do you think that he keeps getting the bag?
He got a very, very, very good agent. I'll tell you that. Whoever his agent is, everybody need to fire theirs and call up Kirk's agent so they can get the money, whatever position they play.
Right.
I think he's getting the bag because of consistency in the regular season. He's been a winner and he's proven it in the regular season. Yeah. Now, he's got this might be the best team of talent he's been around being on the Falcons. Right. Now, granted, he was with all-world Justin Jefferson. But who else was with him? They just added Jordan Addison last year, but Kirk got hurt with the Achilles. He wasn't able to be with him a full season. So I think this is the best talent around. You got Drake London on the outside with Bijan Robinson. I think it's going to be a good season for Kirk, and especially in a weak division. You got the NFC South. You got Baker Mayfield at Tampa Bay. You got him with the Falcons. You got Bryce Young, still young, coming off a 3-win season, trying to avoid that sophomore slump now. Again, after he just had a bad season with the Panthers. And then who else you got? It really don't matter. You got the Saints. Right? Derek Carr is getting old. He didn't show that he was that guy leaving the Raiders, coming here. So I think even though people may call it a wide open division, I think it's actually the Falcons to lose, even though Tampa Bay won it last year. They won it last year barely because if they would have lost and the Falcons win, the Falcons get in. So it was up for grabs at the last week of the season.
Got on the bums.
I want to give you some stats though. Kirk Cousins was Washington. He made the playoffs in 2013 and 16. He lost both.
Yeah.
With the Vikings in 2020, he lost. In 2023, he won one. for me, Kirk Cousins he's going to get you those wins in the regular season. He's 50, 37, and 1. That's a 56% win percentage in the regular season in his career. But as far as playoffs come, and even during the regular season, when those bright lights come on, Kirk don't show up in prime time. They nicknamed him Prime Time Kirk. Not for the good reason. You know what I mean? So, right. I believe I believe he's going to win the division. I believe the Falcons win the division on talent alone, as long as Kirk Cousins stays healthy and stays consistent like he has been. And I think they actually run away with the division. But I'm over. Let's sign a mediocre quarterback so we can get in the playoffs, not get in the playoffs and actually contend. You know what I mean? I don't see the Falcons as contenders at all in the NFC, even though there's not that many teams in the NFC that will contend because a lot of the talent's over there in the AFC. So I'm just not on the Kirk Cousins train like everybody else is.
Yeah, man. Like I said, as far as regular season goes, he'll put up the numbers. He doesn't really turn the ball over much. He's going to do what he does. I think that he needs to. I think also, while you said that he was with Justin Jefferson, I think he needs to be on a more balanced offense, and I hope that they do that for the Falcons. Make it more balanced for him. Stop relying on him just throwing the ball around the yard all the time. Get him with a solid defense. You know what I mean? Get him with a solid defense. Let him, because he'll make the throws. It's not like he can't make the throws. He can make the throws.
Correct.
He knows what he's seeing in the defenses. So he's been around the block. It just got to be the right situation. So if they put him in that right position, he should be able to, you know what I mean, make some noise, you know what I mean, for the Falcons, obviously to win that division. But we'll see what happens come the playoff time. You know, that's what it is.
I agree. All right, moving on to our next topic. These pro days. We had a lot of pro days this last week. With Neighbors from LSU, even his teammate and quarterback Jaden Daniels, who looks to be a top 2 pick. In my opinion, I think is the best quarterback in the draft. Hot take. Yeah, Caleb Williams, Drake May, and Penix pro day all this week. I think that for me, as far as when it comes to pro days for quarterbacks, at least, unless you're running like Penix did this week earlier, I don't think it benefits you at all. Like the GMs, the coaches, they got all the film they need on you. Pro days ain't nothing but a glorified, let me see how far he can throw with no pressure on him, nobody attacking him. Obviously, they want to see the footwork and the movement in the pocket, but there's still nobody rushing him. How can you really see that accurately? That's why I think the film is better than just a pro day, especially when it comes to these quarterbacks. Now, Neighbors, even though we already knew he was a top 10 pick coming in, he made himself a little bit more money running that 4.35 40. And I think he's going to be very good. I do not think he is better than Marvin Harrison, as some people may think. I do think Neighbors is going to be a very, very, very good pro for any team as long as he's in the right situation. I think that Jaden Daniels, though, people said they don't know what he's going to do, and Drake May is over him, and J.J. McCarthy's over him. Did we forget this man ran for over 1,000 yards and had over 50 touchdowns this year and won the Heisman Trophy? And you're going to try to say a guy who had an off year, who was probably the number 1 pick last year, and Drake May, he was projected to be if he came out last year over Jaden Daniels. Come on now. So I think those guys, stocks didn't really go anywhere except for maybe Penix, because he ran a 4.56. He showed more that he's just a pocket passer. So I think he made himself a little bit more money moving up in the draft. How about you? What do you think of those guys?
Well, I ain't gonna lie to you. I am a Penix guy. I was watching Washington all year. I like him a lot. You know what I mean? So cool. I'm happy that the 40 helped him, but he gets the ball out fast, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Why you need to prove your speed when I'm getting the ball out before your D line gets to me? Yeah. I don't even understand that part. You know what I mean?
I
The
think
pro day,
just to show another dimension
another
that he's
dimension,
not
and
just a
that's
pocket
fine.
passer. Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, look, you see Pat Mahomes, he boogies down the sideline when need
Mm-hmm.
to. He boogie yoogies and then steps out of there and then he
Mm-hmm.
calling everybody.
Yeah,
That's what he does. You know,
get that call in.
you know what I mean? That's what he does. You know what I'm saying? And so, like this pro day stuff, it does help your stock, and it can hurt your stock too. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Especially for quarterbacks, because you look at it like this: you're sitting up here, you're getting reps in with wide receivers who you normally don't get reps in with. You know what I mean? That timing can be off. That
Yes.
throw can be off. Next thing you know, you're like, hey, man, I wanted you to a little bit more. I wanted you to a little bit more. You know what I mean? And next thing you know, it makes it look like you're off. Nah, it's
Right.
not off. It's just we don't have that chemistry there. That's why, if anything, I would rather you do your pro day at your school with your receivers and the guys that you know who
Mm-hmm.
you've been rocking with and build that chemistry with. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? And so we shall see. It's hard to judge this stuff, man. Like every scout thinks they know, every team think they know, every GM think they know, but we really don't know.
Yeah.
What team are you going to go to? You know what I mean?
Right.
What system are you going to be under? What coach are you going to be under?
Right.
What's your talent that's going to be on? What's your offensive line like?
Right.
Because you look at homeboy on the Panthers, he running for his damn life, and he
Right.
already 6'1", 180,
Yeah, he's
90.
small.
You know what I mean? You know,
Plays
so
probably
it's
weighs 190 soaking wet. Yep.
exactly. So it's just like,
Mhm.
what you gonna set me up with? You know what I mean? To make sure that you see what Prime said. Prime, my son ain't going there. My son ain't going there.
Right.
My son ain't going there, and he damn sure ain't going there. And
Yeah,
here,
for
here,
sure.
here. Call
Right.
me, call me. I'm
Yeah.
around. You know what I'm saying? And so that's what it really comes down to. These pro days, I get it.
Right.
Is it something to hold us off? But at the same time, get these dudes, and I wish the best for all these quarterbacks and
Yeah.
young players. You know what I mean? Getting on that right system and that right team to help
I
them
do.
flourish.
I do think that either whether it's Caleb Williams or if it's Jaden Daniels going to number one, this will be probably the best setup for any rookie quarterback in the last how many years? Because when a quarterback is drafted number one, it ain't much talent on that offense your first year in. I think it depends
CJ,
on the.
they looked out for CJ.
Oh yeah, they
They
definitely.
looked out for
But
CJ.
they drafted Tank Dell though. They drafted
Right?
Tank.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah,
They
they
didn't know
did.
what they was going to get. They had Devin Singletary as a running back. Yes, he blossomed later in the year, but he wasn't a consistent guy in the backfield for them.
And I'm happy what the Bears did
For sure, for any
Caleb.
for Caleb or for Jaden,
Right.
I think they should draft Jaden. But you already got DJ Moore coming off a career year, 93 receptions and over 1,400 yards, and then you had guy from the Chargers. I'm blanking right now.
Keenan Allen.
You trade for Keenan Allen. He's coming off a career year over 100
When
catches.
healthy, he's got to stay healthy too.
He's got to stay healthy, but coming off a career year over 103 had 103 catches, over 1,200 yards. And then you have DeAndre Swift in the backfield. That team could already run the ball. They already showed that with Herbert last year, and Justin Fields last year, and they had another running back, their backup running back. They can run the football.
Right.
Now you got two guys on the outside. You got DeAndre Swift, and you have Cole Kmet operating the seams in the middle of the field.
Yeah.
Who are you going to cover? If you put 8-9 in the box, you're not guarding DJ Moore and Keenan Allen one-on-one. You just can't do it. So I believe that this may be an easy transition for either one of those quarterbacks who get drafted top.
Right.
So, and I do think Penix, like you said, will be a steal in the draft. He will be a steal.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we are going to play a game called What's the Word?
What's the word?
What's the word, baby? What's the word? So if you guys don't know what's the word is, I'm going to say a phrase. Jerry's going to ask a question. I'm going to ask a question, and you got to give a one-word answer to that question and explain your answer. Let's get it going. Here we go. First.
So I'm gonna be honest with y'all.
Uh-huh.
AG sent me the questions, and I really missed it. So these are gonna be like quick and fast for him. Me, I'm gonna think about it, but I'm gonna be quick with my words because I'm a fast talker. That's what I do. I'm a fast talker. So come
Let's
on,
get it. Here we go. First question. First question. The new NFL kickoff rules are
Weird.
weird.
And I say it's weird because we were for so many years pushing to try to like almost phase out this whole kickoff thing for
Mhm.
safety reasons. You know what I mean? And now they're seeing that there's so many touchbacks, that's less explosive plays. You know
Mhm.
what I mean? You're taking away from that kick returner's bag. So now
Mhm.
it's like, all right, boom. Oh, we see something that looks dope, something that looks different. We're gonna kick it off and we're gonna have these dudes line up right here. Y'all gonna jam, and this dude gonna try to find some type of seam and try to get boogie, yuggy, yuggy. We're gonna try to make some type of contact play, something to make it happen in order
Mhm.
for us to make some type of excitement added to the NFL league. And that's the only way I say it's weird. You know what I mean? When you try to phase into this thing where you're trying to be safety and everything like that, you see these kickers that touchback, touchback,
Right.
touchback. It's all right. This ain't doing it for us, bro. We need y'all to do something here.
Right.
Make your special teams money, and that's what it was.
Right. For me, my word is trash.
Mm-hmm.
Trash. I think you having the kickoff team line up at the opposite 40, the receiving team ending up at the 30. Now the kicker has to hit the ball in some like range from
Right.
the 20 to the 10-yard line. If he doesn't get it in that range, the
Mm-hmm.
offense gets the ball at the 35-yard line. There's
Exactly. And
no
so they're
more fair
forcing you
catches or
into.
none of that. No more
Mm-hmm.
fair catches on the kickoff return like it was last year. The onside kick is still the same. Like it don't make sense. How you gonna make the onside kick still the same? Bring that back to the 30, 35-yard line. Do that the same way. But you
Right.
want regular kickoff, everybody on the same side. You gotta wait till the guy catch the ball to start blocking and set up your
Mm-hmm.
return. I just I just don't like it. This ain't the UFL. This ain't the XFL. This is the NFL. So the NFL stop trying to adapt and be like another league that's
Mm-hmm.
below you. But
Right.
XFL, UFL is below you.
Right.
You set the standard, leave the rules how they are.
Yeah, that's what it is. Like I said, not I think once again, like I said, they were all this pro safety, and then they realized, all right, we see what you're doing here. You're being too safe. We need you to make some type of
Right.
contact.
For
But
sure.
the next question is Derrick Henry's impact on the Ravens offense will be.
Unstoppable.
Ooh,
Unstoppable. I say this because you couldn't stop Lamar from running the ball.
right.
Now you got to watch Lamar. You got to watch Derrick Henry, and you got to watch the guy who was what's the guy's running back's name who got hurt in the right before the playoffs. He was balling before he got hurt, and then he couldn't play the playoff game. I forget his name, blanking on his name, but Mark Andrews is coming back off an injury.
Mm,
I think they got to add another piece now. Not they're not going to re-sign OBJ. I think they got to sign another piece. But that run game is you got to pick your poison right now, especially when they start doing the read option or the zone read. You got to keep an eye on both.
right.
I believe
Facts.
Lamar. I think Lamar's rushing yards go down, but and then because I believe Derrick Henry coming downhill at people, he's gonna run for probably another 1,000, 1,200 yards, and he don't get 10 plus touchdowns, especially down at that goal line. That's an easy person to hand it off to.
Right. So my word for this will be dirty, dirty, dirt ball, because that's what they're gonna do. They gonna put hats on heads, and that's what they're gonna do. They're gonna keep coming at you, coming at you, coming at you, and the next thing you know, oh Andrews, here we go. Oh
Right.
Flowers, here we go. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And that's what it is. And I just hope that Henry still has the pep in his step that that we've used to seeing him on the Titans. I mean, it was a little hard to judge it last year because it was literally only him. You had D Hop, but D Hop quarterback was inconsistent, and they kept switching guys in and out
Yeah.
with the rookie and Tannehill. Like you know what I mean? You kept missing guys. And so with that being said, like I said, I see a dirty offense. You know what I'm saying? And I think they're just gonna. I think they went a little bit more old school with this. You know what I mean? Because there ain't no flash with him.
Right.
I'm going to come downhill
He's
on you.
coming
You know what I
downhill
mean? And we're going to play some defense. They lost some pieces, but we're going to play some defense. We're going to keep it close, and this is how we're going to do you.
for sure.
Mm-hmm.
All right, next question. Caleb Williams will be blank in the NFL.
Like I said, I forgot to study these words. But for everything I can see from this dude, and I'm gonna leave it with everything that he has in his college career.
Mm-hmm.
Dramatic.
Be dramatic. Ooh, I like
dramatic on the field, dramatic off the field. Because that's what he brings. He brings a lot of emotional drama.
Mm-hmm.
It isn't like really. I'm not saying that he says a lot, but
Mm-hmm.
you can see it. It's the body language. You know what I mean? And that's what it is. That's why I'm actually happy the Bears, you know what I mean, went out their way to do what they had to do to bring pieces around him. Because if he goes in and fails right away, I don't know that he's mentally built to deal with adversity, because you see what's happening this year. You know what I mean? That just passed.
Mm-hmm.
Dude was losing games. He up in the grip.
Right.
Oh, they blew me out. Oh, they blew me out. Oh,
Right. You
the snot was coming down his nose. It was cold up in there. You know what I'm saying? And so dramatic, like I said, but he can throw the ball, and like I said, he got the weapons around him. So I hope they just keep building, you know what I mean, and just keep winning for him, because if you don't win, he's not, and especially in the NFL, like don't get me wrong, in college you really hear it, but in the NFL and the Bears, they got loyal fans too. You know what I'm saying?
It's win now for them.
Yeah. So dramatic. That's what I say.
All right. I'm gonna go another word under that, and I'm gonna say bust. I think Caleb Williams is gonna be a bust. Although I do think he has tremendous talent, especially when he first came in for Gabriel coming off the bench as a freshman at Oklahoma. Balled out. And that was at the Red River game against Texas. Balled out. First play he came in, took it 60 on a run.
Yeah.
Follows Lincoln Riley to USC, balls out at USC, but like you said, facing that adversity, who did he beat at USC? Because every big game he lost.
Yeah.
And he didn't handle any of those losses in a good way. Like you come back, maybe you win the next week, but you ain't playing another good team. Playing the UCLA's with no defense this year, playing Colorado and almost let Colorado back in the game and win. And Colorado's defense wasn't like that. Their offense explosive, but I just think that the handling adversity for him is going to hurt him. And it may rub some guys off in the locker room. Who knows? We're not in the locker room, but I'm not wishing him any. I don't want him to not succeed. I want him to succeed. Right. But right now, what has been coming down from college, USC, watching him at USC these last 2 years, losing every big game that he's been in. Yes, he's performed, but he hasn't won. I want him to put that together. Now you go to the Bears, who haven't won, and if you get drafted to the Bears, everything is set up for you. The defense was a top 5 defense last year, the last half of the year after they got swept, and they put some pieces around you. If you get drafted number 1, what you gonna do with those skill guys, and how you gonna perform? So,
yeah, I got you. So, Jaden Daniels will be.
Jaden Daniels gonna be a star. That's my word. He's gonna be a star. He's gonna be a star. He's gonna be a star. Jaden Daniels. If you looked at his progression from his first year with Herm Edwards at Arizona State all the way to now at LSU, it's crazy. He just won he won the Heisman.
Yeah.
He ran for over a stack. He
Mm.
won that big game. He beat Alabama. He won that big game. You know what I mean? The game that's circled on the calendar every year, right? Did they get to the playoff? Nah, they didn't get to the playoff. But who showed up every week? Jaden Daniels showed up every week. You wasn't blaming him for a loss. I'll tell you that. Wasn't blaming him. And he had neighbors on the outside. I think he's going to be a star, whether he goes to the Bears or he goes to the Commanders, or he goes third, whether somebody moves up, whether it's the Vikings or the Patriots stick there and they pick him, or the Broncos come up somehow and they pick him. I think he's going to be a star in the right situation with talent around him. I think he's going to be great.
So I'm going to say my word, and then I'm going to ask you a question.
Okay.
Because I honestly did not check this part of it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to say he's going to be solid.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm going to ask you, how big is he? Pause. No,
no, we not bringing that. We not bringing the no Diddy here. We not bringing the no Diddy. No, yeah, we not doing that. They gonna slide that in there.
What is his height and weight?
Jaden Daniels, they said at his pro day, he's like 6'3", 6'4", and he's around that 220, 225 range.
Okay.
So he did put some weight on.
Right. And I'm only asking that because yes, he was electrifying and did what he did at LSU. But with that still being said, you run in the NFL, you're gonna break one, and then they're gonna break you. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's why I said that, you mean, the biggest of the bigs, Pauls, Cam Newton, you know what I mean? After a while, they said, homie, we tired of you running on us. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, I'm going to say solid, but stay healthy. You know what I mean?
Right.
And B, you seen Richardson on the Colts. He was running, ran his ass out the league for the finishing year. You know what I mean? So you don't want to make that. You don't want to just fully rely on that.
Mm-hmm.
But I want you to still let them know, like, hey, I got a pep in my step. You know what I'm saying? Try to leave part of that in college. Sit back there and throw that ball.
Yeah, because
sit back there and throw that ball.
He can throw the rock. He can throw the rock.
Exactly. And that's why I want to see from him on that next level. That's what I said.
All right, last question on what's the word. Russell Wilson to the Steelers is blank.
I don't know if I have a word for that.
Oh, well, you can have a phrase. Have a couple words. It's all good.
I got 4 words for you.
Go ahead.
On his last breath.
Yes.
That's what I got for you.
Yeah.
On his last breath, bro.
Yes.
Oh, on.
Yeah.
And you had to see it get to this for this dude, man. You know what I mean? You look at his situation, like, boom, you came in. First of all, when you got drafted to the Seahawks, nobody had you even starting. Because they just paid, was it Matt Flynn from the Packers? They paid homeboy, brought him in. It was like, oh, wait a minute, homeboy, he getting busy. I know we paid him, but he doing what he doing. We're gonna throw him in there. Boom, he throw him in there. He's like, all right, you're gonna hand this ball off to the Skittle man.
Right.
We're gonna play this defense right here. We're gonna knock some skulls together, and then we're gonna go to the Super Bowl. That's what we're gonna do.
Right.
And then as that went, his confidence wasn't there. And I think Pete Carroll said, you know what, I'm gonna build some confidence in you. You know what you're gonna do? We're gonna get down to the 1-yard line and you're gonna throw a goddamn interception.
Right. Messed up the dynasty.
And it just went downhill from there.
Right.
You know what I mean? Went downhill from there as far as that defense and those vets. You know what they did? They said, you got to go, you got to go, you got to go, you got to go. You know why you got to go? Because you're not a quarterback.
Right.
And we're going to ride with our quarterback. And that's exactly what they did. They rode with their quarterback. You know what? And they traded for a tackle. But overall, that O-line was poop.
Yeah.
O-line was trash.
Sure.
And so you know what he was doing? He said, I'm going to run around here. I'm going to run around here. I'm going to run around here. Oh, you up and down there like it? Let me bring it up to you. That's what we're going to do.
You playing back football, yeah.
Exactly. And then towards the end of his stint there, they was running the ball more. They was running the ball probably too much. Because when the
Yeah.
Cowboys played them in the playoffs, they was number one in rushing. That's because they ran the ball like 30 something times a game.
Right.
You know what
Right.
I'm saying? And so that people realize he's like, you know what, you ain't about to just beat us like this.
Right.
Boom. He ends that stint there, goes on to the Broncos. Peyton ain't with that man.
Right.
And it was clear as day Peyton ain't with that man. He said, bro, I'm telling you to read this and throw the ball, and you just keep holding on to the ball.
Right.
You got to go.
Right.
So now with the Steelers, you go into the Steelers, half of the year, they get rid of OC. Offense starts moving better and making some plays. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
so I guess it's just a we'll see for him.
Right.
But
Hold on. Right. We're gonna transition to that. Hold that
Right.
thought though when we go
I
back.
got you.
All right. Hold that thought.
Right.
Hold that thought. Don't get
So
too
like I
much.
said,
Don't get too.
it's just you're just on your last breath with this.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? And that's just what I say with that.
For me, my word is mediocre. Mediocre. What have the Steelers been all of Mike Tomlin's career since that Super Bowl? They've been mediocre.
They don't lose.
They don't have losing seasons. That's why they 9-7, they 9-7, 9-7, 8-8, 9-7, 8-8. And this past season they were 9-8, made the playoffs. Okay. But for as far as Russ goes, I think he got a little bit left in him, being that he did go 26 touchdowns to 8 interceptions last year, and they still tried to blame him. So I think they do get better at the quarterback position. But I still think it's the Steelers. You still got to go through Lamar. And I still believe, even though it's some things going on over there, I don't think they figured it out yet. You got to go through Joe Burrow. As long as Joe Burrow stay healthy, he's going to give you a problem regardless. So I think I still think for them, if they not going to be mediocre, they got to win a division, and they can't be splitting. They got to beat the Ravens 2-0 or the Ravens 2-0. You know what I mean? Or the Browns 2-0.
Browns, don't sleep on the Browns.
I'm not sleeping on the Browns. They got to beat the Browns 2-0, not go 1-1, and then 1-1 everybody else. So I think it's going to be mediocre for them, a mediocre season, the same season they have been doing it for the last decade now. All right, moving on here with still the same thing. This is going to transition us to the Steelers again with Russ. And who else did they sign with Russ? They signed Justin Fields. What do you think is going to be the plan for Russell Wilson and Justin Fields moving on this season, coming up this 2024 season?
I gave you those 4-letter words, right?
Yes, you did. Last.
You laugh, homie. You got an ice box where your heart used to be, homie. Your last breath. You step this up one little bit. Them yellow, terrible towels. You're going to get smacked in the eyeball with about 10 of them things. And your ass going to be out of here. And then Phil's going to be right in there. And Phil's going to boogie, yoogie, yoogie. He's going yoogie, yoogie, yoogie. And that's the thing, though. I think it'll come down to the coordinators and to the coordinator and how they choose to run that offense and what they choose to do with it. Be balanced. Please be balanced. You got 2 running backs. That I like. You know what I mean? Be balanced. You got a tight end. He missed some time last year. You got wide receiver. You got speed wide receivers. I think you need to go get another guy. You know what I mean?
Definitely do. I think they only got Pickens. They only got George.
Right. And so with that being said, you know what I mean? It all comes down to how that coordinator chooses to run that offense. Russ, just get rid of the ball, bro. And then not even just that, like I said, run the ball, hit the checkdowns, just manage the game. If you try to do too much, your ass is out of here, man. You're just gone. I mean, you voted stage, you're welcome. And that's just really what it comes down to. And Fields, put that man in the best position. You know what I'm saying? He's super athletic. He can make plays. He can do what he needs to do when the pocket breaks. And so that's just really what it comes down to.
I agree with you to a certain extent. I do think Russ plays well. Like I said earlier, I think he plays well, but I also think Mike Tomlin and whoever is going to be this offensive coordinator, they all need to come and talk, because the Steelers have been running the Stone Age offense for about I don't know how long now. They can't move their offense. I mean, it has a lot to do with the quarterback play or lack thereof quarterback play had. But you had a run game. Najee went for 1,000 last year.
Right.
Then you had the backup spelling him, who was, I think it should be the starter. And Najee should be coming off the bench. But
I do that first round draft pick.
Yeah, I know they're not going to do it. But
that is.
Russ is in a good position now. I do think if, like we talked about earlier, I think Russ has 6 to 8 games. If Russ is 6-1 or 6-2, Russ is going to be he's going to be fine. They're going to keep rolling with him.
Facts.
But if Russ is losing, he 0-6 or he's 2-4, 2-7. They're gonna have to insert
balls. You throw the ball. Like,
yeah, they're gonna have to insert fields. But if they are losing and it's not his fault, I think they still stick with him, because we all know that defense. He's still current. That defense plays very well every game, every week, every year. They still gonna be a great defense. But whether they play Russ and then they have like a little package for Fields, which I don't think they should do, and then messes up Russ's rhythm, I don't think they should.
I see that happening, but I don't want that to happen.
Yeah, I see it happening too. I don't think that should happen. So I think Russ and the Steelers have a good season, and it's going to be mediocre, and I don't think they make the playoffs.
Right.
Too much talent in the AFC.
Yeah, it's pretty deep. And them quarterbacks about to get healthy again. So we'll see how that goes. We'll definitely see how that goes. But on to the next topic. I don't know how. So we're going to go right there. Okay. Say no more. Dak Dakota Rain Prescott. So, is you going to get the bag or are you not going to get the bag? Is he going to show up in the playoffs or is he not going to show up in the playoffs? And that's why I think it comes down to him and getting that bag. So with that being said, it's kind of like, how do you feel about this whole thing and everything that's going on? And there's no way to hide it. We're Cowboys fans. Let's just, once again, this is real talk. So we're going to be real and honest. And this is normally how we are on a regular. We be in the group chat, going back and forth with each other.
Sure.
You know what I mean, about this dude. So how do you feel about this contract stint and everything? And what should we do with the other guys around him? You got your Micah and your CD who need to get paid.
Right. I think we had no choice but to extend him. I know we didn't do that. We needed to lower that cap hit. $59 million cap hit this year. Even though we lowered it, they did a little roster bonus and turned it into a guaranteed money. So now it's $55 million. It's still $55 million cap hit.
Right.
And that's why we couldn't do anything to sign like a Derrick Henry when we need a running back or anybody else or Saquon, because we're rumored to either sign him or Saquon or Aaron Jones, and we have any money. So, and I do think that's Jerry's fault as well, because they haven't handled the cap at all very well the last, I don't even know, 10 years or so. I think the way they structure contracts, they are not structured well enough for the long run. They're not looking ahead like Howie does. Even though the Eagles, those cap hits is going to come in the next year or two, and they're going to have to move things around. But I think they're not working hand in hand. I think Jerry, yeah, you say you want to win, doing Dak, you say you want to be a Cowboy for life, but you not doing the necessary things to want to be here because you're not winning in the playoffs. Yeah, you're a regular season quarterback, 12-5, 12-5, 12-5. But when it comes to the postseason, you're not winning. But you're not doing what the great quarterbacks are doing that who were winning.
Right.
Look at Tom Brady, was winning all life at the Patriots, was taking all them pay cuts so they can bring in those free agents, right?
Mm-hmm. Right.
Patrick Mahomes, he just restructured his deal to free up $21 million to bring back Chris Jones and possibly even re-sign L'Jarius Sneed, even though they did not do that. So, Dak, do you just want the money or do you want to win? Yes, I believe every player should get his money.
Right.
But do you want to win too? Because it don't look like you want to win either, knowing this year coming and after this year, we got to sign Micah and CD Lamb, what their contract's going to look like. Now, there has been reports from Fowler that said the Cowboys don't look to have Dak in free agency. They don't want him to hit free agency. They look to sign all three of them at some point. But I'm trying to figure out how they're going to do that.
Right.
Micah performs again and has 4 seasons with 10 sacks or more. That's over $100 million, and they trying to jack him already because they made him into a DN and not a linebacker, not a pass rusher. So they trying to lowball him. So I'm interested to see what we're doing. I'm not going to say I'm happy where we're at right now because I feel like with some free agents leaving. Yeah, they weren't starters, but they were in a rotation for us. We lost our starting center. Now we need a center. We need a running back. We still need another linebacker. We need safeties now. So and there's some guys out there still in free agency who are just waiting to get scooped up. But I think some of them, they want a little bit of money that we don't have. But I think we need to make a move either during the draft or after we're free agents when we have a little bit more money to deal with.
Right. I honestly think we're rich and cheap at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
We penny pinch, and that's just really what it comes down to. And this is everybody. We try to get over on everybody. You know what I mean? It don't matter. No, I take it back. Romo got paid.
Yeah, he did.
Only one who got paid and it never produced.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it was not always hurt, but he's had his injury spells.
Right.
You know what I mean? It never was a problem when it came time for that man's contract, and he still didn't do nothing in the playoffs either. So with that being said, I don't know if they're trying to learn from the Romo thing or trying to take a new way or just flat out disrespecting Dak. I can't call it what it is that we're trying to do. You know what I mean? I'm not expecting them to spend a whole lot of money in the free agency because we haven't since Brandon Carr. Let's be honest with ourselves.
Right.
We haven't signed nobody to a big deal since Brandon Carr. That's just not what we do. We look to build through the draft and pay our players, and everybody got their own spill, their own thing. At the end of the day, if you're saying that you're trying to win and all in, even though you change those wordings around, you pay this quarterback, you build these pieces around him, you get this coaching staff to get on the same page, and then try to make something happen in these playoffs. You know what I mean? It isn't like it isn't like that. It isn't like we can't make it to the playoffs. We can definitely make it to the playoffs. Is what we're going to do when we get there. You know what I'm saying? And so with that being said, I don't know what we do. They're leaving us in the dark for a reason. We got about a couple weeks into the draft, so I think they'll try to make a move some type of way. Right. So we'll see what happens then.
Let me ask you this. Back when we had Zeke, right?
Right.
Dak was successful, and we always won when we had a run game. Remember how our offensive line was before we drafted Zeke? And then everybody tried to mimic that, right?
Right.
They didn't trust Dak to throw the ball so many times. We had the run game, and then our pass game mirrored off of that run game, and Dak was more successful. We won so many more games when we had a run game, and Zeke was hitting that 100 yards. When he had 100 yards, when we ran for over 100 yards, we were like 20 something and like 2 or 3 or whatever it was. When Zeke would get the ball 20 or more times, we won more games. So I think we need to get back to that. And I don't think McCarthy's run plays mirror the pass game for us to be successful in the run game, regardless who was back there. Tony did what he was supposed to do. He ran over 1,000 yards, but he had over 1,000 yards combined with that and catching the ball, but it was underwhelming.
Facts.
Very quiet, unlike the year before when he was very explosive. Because we had Zeke, we had that thunder and lightning type of deal. But I think we need to get back to that. This throwing 40 times a game. Like, yes, I know it's a pass offense, pass league now. But when it comes to certain teams, especially us, especially the Cowboys, that cannot be throwing that ball 40 times. They need the run game so he can be.
We need a balanced attack.
Right. You know what I mean? It needs to be balanced because as you can remember, leading up to that playoff game, I'm sure you know this and I'm sure you can see it because our offense is very predictable at times. It's been very predictable for years. When we went 5 wide, who was the ball going to? It was going to CD Lamb over the middle every single time, whether it was a drag route or a slant route. And guess what? Darnell Savage read the hell out of that route and picked it and went 6. He looked right at Dak's eyes. Dak's eyes did not leave CD Lamb, and he picked the ball off. He predetermines where he's going to throw the ball before he even says hut.
Right. Here
we go. I already know where I'm going. Exactly. So I think we need that run game to be successful.
For sure. That's right. Well, this looks like this concludes our show for the night.
Yes, sir.
Thank everybody tuning in. This is our first ever episode in the Raps, baby.
Yes, sir.
Like I said, tune in. We're on all platforms. We'll be pushing everything in from there. Like I said, this is a pre-recording, so once we get into the gist of things, we got about 3 weeks into the draft, right? 3 weeks, 4 weeks.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. 3 weeks. Yeah.
These next couple of weeks, we're going to be going down this draft. We're going to go down AFC to NFC, talk about each individual teams. You know what I mean? Talk about the free agents that they've picked up, what they still need, where they're at in their draft, and how they can build from there. We're gonna dissect all that stuff. Like I said, thanks again, KG, Coach J, whatever you want to call it, bro.
Yes, sir.
Thank you so much. We really made it happen, bro.
Yes, sir. Yes, we did. Real talk football. We'll see you soon. We out of here.